You think you know how the story ends, don't you? You think the Battle of Hogwarts was the final chapter, that Voldemort turning into ash was the period at the end of the sentence. Well, let me tell you something. In the world of magic, silence is never really peace. It's just a calm before a much, much darker storm. Fast forward 20 years. We aren't in London anymore. We are in the belly of the beast, New York City. It's midnight, raining like the sky is trying to wash away the sins of the city. But trust me, some stains don't wash out. Down in the meatpacking district, the shadows look a little too long, a little too alive. See that guy running down the alleyway? The one in the soaked trench coat, clutching his side? That's Jack Thorne. He's an Auror from Akusa, the magical Congress of the United States. And right now, Jack is having a very, very bad night. He's not running from a muggle with a gun. He's running from something that doesn't have a face. Jack stumbles, his breath coming out in ragged, white puffs in the cold air. He slams against a brick wall, sliding down, his one hand shaking. He pulls out a small, jagged crystal from his pocket. It's glowing a sick, dark purple. He looks at it and whispers, I told him this was real. Suddenly, the streetlights at the end of the alley flicker and die. Pop, 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 darkness rushes toward him like a tidal wave. Jack raises his wand. He knows he's not making it home for dinner. He screams, Expecto Patronum! But instead of a silver animal, his wand just sparks and fizzles. That's the scary part. Folks, whatever is chasing him, it's dampening magic. It's eating it. The darkness swallows him whole. No scream, no green light, just silence. And on the wet pavement, that purple crystal lies there, pulsing, waiting. Now let's cross the ocean. 3,000 miles away, the sun is just rising over London. It's a gray morning, typical British weather, miserable enough to ruin your coffee. Inside the Ministry of Magic, things have changed. It's sleek, it's modern, but the pressure is worse than ever. Sitting in a corner office on the top floor is a man who looks like he hasn't slept in a week. He's got gray in his beard now, and that lightning bolt scar on his forehead is hidden under wrinkles of stress. Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Now he's the man who works. He's the head of magical law enforcement. And honestly, he looks bored out of his mind. He's staring at a pile of paperwork when the door bursts open without a knock. Only one person gets away with that. Hermione Granger, the Minister for Magic herself. She doesn't look happy. She walks straight to his desk, slams a file down, and says, We have a problem, Harry, a big one. Harry doesn't even look up. He just sighs, rubbing his temples, and says, If this is about the budget for the Department of Mysteries, Hermione, I can't fix it. It's not money, Harry, she says, her voice low, deadly serious. It's New York. We lost an agent last night. And the readings we got from his last location, they match the energy signature from the Battle of Hogwarts. That gets his attention. Harry freezes. He slowly looks up, his green eyes locking onto hers. That's impossible, he says. Voldemort is dead. We buried the past. Hermione shakes her head. Magic leaves a footprint, Harry, and someone just stepped in it. Akusa is asking for help. They don't want an official team. They want someone who understands dark magic better than anyone else. They want you. Harry stands up, walking to the window, looking out at the rain-soaked London skyline. He swore he was done with chasing monsters. He has kids now. Albus Lily James. He has a life. But you know how it is. Once a hero, always a target. I can't go, Harry says. Albus is coming home from training this weekend. I promised Ginny. Take Albus with you, Hermione suggests, and that surprises him. He's top of his class in tracking Harry. He needs field experience. And frankly, you two need to talk. You've been drifting apart for years." Harry laughs, a dry, humorless sound. "A father-son road trip to hunt down a dark magical entity in New York? Ginny is going to kill me." But he grabs his coat, because deep down, Harry feels it too. The scar isn't hurting, not exactly, but it's itching, like an old wound remembering the knife. Cut to the Potter residence. It's chaotic, typical morning. Ginny is trying to manage the household, but the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. When Harry walks in, soaked and serious, the room goes quiet. Albus Severus Potter is sitting at the kitchen table. He looks just like Harry, but with a sharper edge, a bit more resentment in his eyes. Being the son of the chosen one isn't exactly a walk in the park. "Pack your bags," Harry says to Albus. "We're going to America." Albus looks up confused. "America? For what? A holiday?" "Not exactly," Harry mutters. "Work trip. You're my backup." You can see the spark in Albus's eyes. Finally, a chance to prove he's not just Harry Potter's son. But neither of them knows what's waiting for them across the Atlantic. They aren't walking into a simple investigation. They are walking into a trap set 20 years ago. They take a portkey, an old beat-up baseball glove, and in a swirl of color and nausea, they land in the heart of New York. But this isn't the magical New York of the 1920s. This is modern, gritty, underground. They arrive at the McCussa headquarters, hidden inside the Woolworth building. They are greeted by Agent Graves. No, not that Graves, his grandson, a tall, imposing American wizard with a no-nonsense attitude. He doesn't shake hands. He just nods and says, "Potter, you look older than the pictures." "Yeah, well, saving the world ages you," Harry shoots back. "Show us what you found." They go down to the morgue. It's cold. On the table lies Jack Thorne's body, or what's left of it. It's not bloody, but it looks drained, like the color and life were sucked out. Harry pulls out his wand, casting a diagnostic spell. The air shimmers. "See that?" Harry whispers to Albus. "Look at the residue around the chest." Albus leans in, squinting. It looks like smoke, but it's solid. "Obsidian dust," Harry corrects him. "Dark magic. Ancient stuff. I haven't seen this since my second year. This is related to a soul parasite." Suddenly, the lights in the morgue flicker. The temperature drops 10 degrees in a second. We can see their breath misting in the air. Harry spins around, wand raised. "We're not alone, but we're inside McCussa," Albus says, voice trembling slightly. "It's the safest building in America." "Nowhere is safe," Harry growls. "Stay behind me." From the shadows in the corner of the room, a voice echoes. It's not human. It sounds like grinding stones. "Potter." Harry steps forward. "Show yourself." A figure steps out. It's wearing a modern hoodie, face obscured, but a wand in its hand is distinct. It's made of white bone. "You shouldn't have come, Harry. The eclipse has already started. You're just here to watch the sun die." This is the moment the audience realizes this isn't just a leftover Death Eater. This is a new generation of hate. The figure flicks its wand, not saying a spell, just a silent, violent motion. The entire wall of the morgue explodes inward. Debris flies everywhere. Harry throws up a Protego shield, a shimmering blue dome covering him and Albus, but the force of the blast sends him sliding backward. This enemy is strong, stronger than they expected. "Albus, go left, flank him." Harry yells, diving over Gurney. He's moving fast for an older guy, muscle memory kicking in. Albus hesitates for a split second, fear, real fear, but then he moves. He sprints to the side, firing a stunning spell. Stupefy. The red jet of light flies true, but the hooded figure just catches it. catches a spell with his bare hand and crushes it. Yeah, you heard me. He caught the spell. Harry's eyes widen. Albus, run. Get out of here. But the door slams shut, sealed by black ice. They are trapped. The figure laughs, a cold, dry sound. The boy who lived, the figure mocks. Let's see if the man who aged can bleed. The fight that follows is brutal. It's not elegant dueling, it's a brawl. Harry is firing hexes, blasting curses, using the environment, transfiguring medical trays into daggers. But the enemy is fast, teleporting in bursts of black smoke. Albus is cornered. The figure raises that bone wand, the tip glowing a sickly green. Harry sees it. He knows that color. He knows what comes next. No! Harry screams, abandoning his cover. He throws himself in front of the sun just as the green light erupts. The green light erupts. It fills the room, blinding, silent, and final. For a heartbeat, you think it's over. You think the boy who lived finally ran out of luck. But Harry Potter didn't survive a war by being slow. In a fraction of a second, with a flick of his wrist that's more instinct than spell work, Harry doesn't block the curse. You can't block a killing curse. Instead, he yanks a heavy, steel autopsy table into the air. The green jet of light smashes into the metal, exploding it into 1,000 molten shrapnel pieces. Move! Harry roars, his voice shaking the walls. He grabs Albus by the collar of his jacket and throws him toward a ventilation chute in the corner of the room. Defendo! The grate shears off, and before Albus can argue, Harry shoves him inside and dives in after him. They slide down the dark, slick metal tunnel, tumbling through the guts of the Woolworth building. Behind them, the morgue explodes. We aren't talking a little pop. We're talking a massive, dark energy shockwave that shakes the foundation of the skyscraper. They spill out onto a lower maintenance deck, crashing onto wet concrete. Albus is gasping for air, eyes wide, checking his limbs. Dad, that was Avada Kedavra. He tried to kill us. Harry is already up, scanning the perimeter. He's bleeding from a cut above his eye, but he wipes it away like it's nothing. Welcome to the job, Albus. He grunts. We need to move. Makusa is compromised. The building security wards are turning against us. Can you feel that humming in the floor? That's the lockdown protocol. So what do we do? Fight our way out? Albus asks, pulling his wand, trying to look brave. Harry looks at his son, and for a second, the hardness in his face softens. No, we run. In London, I'm the law. Here, we're fugitives. They burst out of the service exit into the pouring New York rain. The city is loud, chaotic, and perfect for hiding, but they aren't safe yet. High above, sleek black drones, magical constructs that look like gargoyles with rotating cameras, are scanning the streets. Red searchlights sweep the wet pavement. Harry grabs Albus and pulls him into the shadows of a scaffolding. Hood up, he commands. Don't use magic unless you absolutely have to. Makusa tracks magical signatures in the city grid. You cast a Lumos, and they'll be on us in 10 seconds. They move through the crowd. It's a tense, claustrophobic walk. You can feel the paranoia. Every siren makes them flinch. They head toward the subway. The New York subway is a beast of its own, but in the magical world, it's a whole different ecosystem. They swipe stolen Metro cards. Harry really has picked up some tricks over the years and descend into the humid, sticky air of the 14th Street station. The train rattles in, covering graffiti that actually moves. Yeah, the spray-painted tags are alive, shifting and dancing on the metal cars. They jump into the last car. It's empty, except for a homeless man sleeping in the corner who turns out to be a disguised troll, snoring boulders. Harry sits down heavily, finally letting out a breath. Albus sits opposite him, staring at his father. "You knew," Albus says quietly, "you knew that wasn't just a random dark wizard back there. He called you out." Harry looks out the window as the tunnel lights blur by. "He didn't just call me out, Al. He hesitated. He wanted me to see him. It's a message." "From who?" "I don't know yet," Harry admits, and that's the scariest thing Albus has ever heard. Harry Potter always knows. But that bone wand, I've read about it. It's made from the rib of a letterfold. That's not illegal magic. That's extinct magic. Someone is digging up graves we thought were empty for centuries. The train screeches to a halt in the Bronx. This isn't a normal stop. The station tiles are cracked, and the air smells like sulfur and Old Spice. Harry stands up. "Come on, I know a guy. Well, I know a guy who knows a guy." They walk out into a neighborhood that muggles don't see. The buildings here twist and turn like an Escher painting. They stop in front of a rundown laundromat. Harry taps the glass 3 times in a rhythmic beat. Tap, tap, tap. The washing machines inside spin violently and the back wall dissolves. Welcome to the Iron Cauldron. It's an underground speakeasy filled with smoke, jazz, and creatures that would give a normal person a heart attack. Goblins playing poker with wizards, a house elf serving drinks that smoke, and in the back, a jazz band led by a skeleton on the saxophone. The vibe is cool, gritty, and dangerous. Everyone stops and looks at Harry. They know the scar. Fame travels, even to the Bronx. A short, stout wizard with mechanical eye slides a drink down the bar. This is Grimjaw. He's a broker of information, and he hates Aurors. "Potter," Grimjaw growls, his mechanical eye zooming in and out. "You got a lot of nerve showing your face here. There's a bounty on your head. 5 minutes old. 10,000 dragons. Dead or alive." Albus stiffens, hand going his wand. Harry puts a hand on Albus's arm to lower it. "I'm not here to arrest you, Grimjaw," Harry says smoothly, sliding a heavy bag of galleons onto the counter. "I'm here to buy information." Grimjaw looks at the gold, then at Harry. He spits on the floor. "Keep your British gold, but I might trade for a favor. I hear you have a knack for finding things." "What do you need?" "A name." Grimjaw leans in, his voice dropping to a whisper. "The shadow that hit the Makusa morgue? It's been hitting my shipments too. It's stealing time turners, Potter. Broken ones. Dangerous ones. The kind the Ministry destroyed back in '96. Harry's face goes pale. Why would anyone want broken time turners? They trap you in a loop. They're useless. Unless, Albus interrupts, his mind working fast. Unless they aren't trying to travel back. Unless they're trying to stop time moving forward. Both Harry and Grimjaw look at the kid. Albus continues, gaining confidence. The crystal jack Thorn had. It was pulsing. It was absorbing magic. If you combine a temporal containment field with a magic siphon, you could freeze a moment forever. Harry realizes his son is right. An eclipse, Harry whispers. The eclipse of time. That's what he said. Suddenly, the front door of the laundromat explodes inward. No warning, just fire and debris. The music stops. The patrons scream. Through the smoke, armored figures step in. They are Makusa Aurors. They're wearing silver masks, smooth, featureless, terrifying. They move like liquid. Potter! One of them shouts, voice amplified magically. Surrender the boy and you walk away. Harry looks at Albus. Plan B? Albus asks, terrified. There is no plan B, Harry says, flipping the table over for cover as a curse shatters the wood. We fight. It's a barroom brawl, wizard style. Bottles fly, exploding into fireballs. Grimjaw pulls a shotgun, a magical shotgun that shoots stunning spells. From behind the bar, Harry is a blur of motion, disarming two attackers while shielding Albus. Expelliarmus, Confringo. Harry is precise, efficient, but there are too many of them. Albus, the back exit. Harry yells, "Get to the roof." Albus scrambles up the spiral staircase, dodging hexes. He reaches the roof, rain pelting his face. He looks down at the alleyway. It's a 50-foot drop. Harry bursts through the door behind him, barricading it with a locking spell. "Dad, we're trapped." Albus yells over thunder. Harry looks at the gap between their building and the next one. It's too far to jump. He looks at his son. "Do you trust me? Do I have a choice?" "Not really," Harry grins. It's the old Harry grin. The one that means he's about to do something incredibly stupid. "Grab my arm." Albus grabs hold. Harry points his wand not at the enemy, but at a massive water tower on the adjacent roof. Accio Thunderbolt. It's not a standard spell. Harry summons a lightning from the storm itself. A massive bolt strikes the water tower, blasting it off its hinges. As the tower falls toward them, creating a temporary bridge of twisting metal and gushing water, Harry screams, "Jump!" They leap into the void, landing on the collapsing metal structure as it crashes between the two buildings. It's a chaotic slide, riding the debris like a surfboard down to the next street level. They hit a pile of garbage bags, gross but soft. They lie there for a second, catching their breath, rain washing over them. Okay, Albus pants, wiping slime off his jacket. "That was awesome." Harry groans, sitting up. "Don't tell your mother." But as they stand up in the dark alley, a slow clapping sound emerges from the shadows. "Bravo," a voice says. A woman steps out. She's wearing a Makusa trench coat, but her eyes are entirely black. No whites, just void. "You run well, Potter, but you can't run from what's in your blood." She raises a hand, and the shadows on the wall detach themselves. They form into wolves, shadow wolves. They growl, a sound like tearing metal. Harry is tired. His wand arm is heavy, but he steps in front of Albus again. This is going to be a long night. The alleyway is freezing cold, unnatural cold. The kind that seeps right through your jacket and settles in your bones. Those shadow wolves? They aren't growling like animals. It's a sound like static, like a radio tune between stations. The woman with the black eyes just smiles, her jaw hanging a little too loose, a little too unhinged. "Kill them," she whispers, and the wolves lunge. Harry doesn't wait. "Depulso," he shouts, sending a shockwave down the alley. It hits the lead wolf, but instead of flying back, the creature just scatters. It turns into smoke, flows around the blast, and reforms instantly, snapping its jaws inches from Harry's face. Physical spells don't work. Harry yells, ducking under a claw that swipes through the brick wall like it's butter. They aren't solid, Albus. They're constructs. Albus is backed against a dumpster, panic rising in his chest. A wolf is stalking him, low to the ground. He fires a stunner. Stupefy. But the red light passes harmlessly through the wolf's chest. The wolf lunges. "Light!" Harry screams from across the alley, currently wrestling two of them with a magical shield. Albus used light, pure light. Albus's mind races. Not a stunner, not a hex. He points his wand tip directly at the wolf's eyes. He closes his own eyes and screams, "Lumos Solum." A blinding flash, like a miniature sun, explodes from his wand. The alley turns white. The shadows screech, a horrible, high-pitched wail that shatters the windows of the buildings above them. The wolves boil away, evaporating into nothingness under the intense glare. The woman with the black eyes stumbles back, shielding her face, her skin smoking. "The light," she hisses, her voice distorting, sounding like two people speaking at once. "It burns, but it cannot stop the eclipse. The dial turns, Potter. The dial turns at Ilvermorny." And then, she doesn't just run away. She implodes. Her body collapses inward into a puddle of black ink that seeps instantly into the drains. Gone. Just like that. Harry drops his shield, breathing hard, leaning against a wet brick wall. He looks at Albus. For the first time, he doesn't look at him like a child. He looks at him like a partner. Lumo solum, Harry pants, wiping sweat mixed with rain from his forehead. Haven't seen that used in combat since Hermione used it on Devil's Snare. Good thinking, kid. Albus manages a weak smile, adrenaline crashing. Did you hear what she said? Ilvermorny, the American Wizarding School. Yeah, Harry nods grimly. That's where this ends. But we can't go there looking like this. We're exhausted, and half of New York is hunting us. We need a safe house. Do we have one? Harry pushes off the wall, checking the street. I have a key, an old emergency key Kingsley gave me years ago. It opens a sanctuary in Central Park. Come on. They move through the city, sticking to the shadows. New York at night is a beast, but Central Park is a forest in the middle of the concrete jungle. They reach Belvedere Castle, that Gothic-looking structure sitting on a rock. It looks empty, a tourist spot closed at night. Harry walks up to a stone gargoyle near the entrance. He doesn't use a spell. He takes off his watch, an old battered thing, and places in the gargoyle's mouth. The ground rumbles. A section of the castle wall rotates, revealing a warm, golden light inside. They step in, and the wall seals behind them. It's a sanctuary. High ceilings, rows of ancient books, a fireplace that roars to life as they enter. It smells like cedar and old parchment. It's safe. Finally, Albus collapses onto a velvet sofa, staring at the ceiling. Harry walks to the cabinet, pulls out a bottle of something amber, fire whiskey, and pours 2 glasses. He hands one to Albus. "Dad," Albus says, looking at the glass, "I'm not of age." "Tonight," Harry says, sitting in the armchair opposite him. "You earned it. Drink. It helps with the shakes." Albus takes a sip. It burns, but it warms him up. Silence stretches between them. It's not awkward anymore. It's heavy. "Why didn't you tell me?" Albus asks quietly. "About how bad it really gets. You tell stories about the war, about Voldemort, but you make it sound like an adventure. This is an adventure. It's terrifying." Harry looks into the fire. The flames dance in his glasses. "Because I didn't want you to be afraid, Al. I wanted you to have the childhood I never did. I wanted you to worry about Quidditch and exams, not dark wizards and death. But that's the problem." Albus leans forward. "You protected me so much that I feel useless. Everyone expects me to be you, but I'm not you." Harry looks at his son, really looks at him. "I don't want you to be me, Albus. Being me, it's lonely. It's heavy. I want you to be better than me. You're smarter. You're kinder. And back there, you were faster." It's a moment, a real father-son moment that's been 20 years in the making, but it's interrupted by a chiming sound. Harry stands up and walks to a large, dusty globe in the corner of the room. It's not a map of the world. It's a map of magical ley lines. A red line is burning across the surface, stretching from New York City up north, towards Massachusetts, towards Mount Greylock, towards Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. She said the dial turns at Ilvermorny. Harry mutters, tracing the line. Grimjaw mentioned the obsidian dial. It's an ancient artifact used to reset timelines. If they activate it at Ilvermorny, that school sits on a nexus of magical power. It would amplify the effect 1,000 times. What would happen? Albus asks, standing beside him. They wouldn't just freeze time, Harry says, his voice cold. They could overwrite reality. They could erase the last 20 years. No Battle of Hogwarts victory. No ministry. No us. Albus goes pale. So we have to get to Massachusetts. How? We can't apparate that far without splinching, and the Makusa Porky network is locked down. Harry smiles, a mischievous glint returning to his eyes. We do it the American way. We drive. Cut to the garage of the sanctuary. Harry pulls a tarp off a vehicle. It's not a broomstick. It's a vintage 1967 Ford Mustang, but it's modified. The engine hums with magical energy. The exhaust pipes glow blue. Arthur Weasley helped me build this a few years ago. Harry says, patting the hood. Never thought I'd actually use it. Get in. The engine roars, a mix of a lion's growl and a jet turbine. They blast out of a hidden tunnel, shooting onto the streets of New York. But they don't stay on the road. As they hit the highway, Harry hits a silver button on the dashboard. The wheels fold in. The car lifts off. They're flying over the traffic, weaving between skyscrapers, heading north under the cover of the storm clouds. This is wicked. Albus laughs, the wind tearing at his hair. Keep your eyes open. Harry shouts over the engine. We aren't out of the woods yet. As they fly over the Hudson River, leaving the city lights behind, the mood shifts. The storm ahead is getting darker, unnaturally dark. The clouds are swirling into a funnel shape directly over the mountains in the distance. Dad, Albus points. Look. In the distance, the sky is cracking, literal purple cracks in the atmosphere, like broken glass. They've started the ritual, Harry says, gripping the steering wheel tighter. Hang on, Albus. I'm going to push the engine to maximum. The car surges forward, breaking the sound barrier with a thunderous boom. They are racing against time itself, but they are not alone in the sky. From the clouds above, shapes descend. Not wolves this time, Dementors, but they're armored, metal plates fused to their rotting cloaks. They swoop down toward the flying car, bringing a wave of freezing despair with them. Dementors! Albus yells, feeling the cold grip his heart. I can't find a happy memory. Focus, Albus. Harry shouts, swerving the car to avoid a Dementor's grasp. The car spins, skimming the tops of the trees. Think of home. Think of your mom. Think of anything. One Dementor lands on the hood of the car, its scab hand reaching through the windshield. The glass frosting over instantly. The car starts to nosedive. Harry can't let go of the wheel to cast a spell. Albus, take the wheel. What? Take the wheel. Harry lets go, and Albus grabs the steering wheel, terrified. Harry stands up in the open convertible, the wind whipping his coat. He faces a Dementor. He faces a swarm descending from the clouds. He doesn't look like a bureaucrat now. He looks like the chosen one. He raises his wand. Expecto Patronum. And this time, it's not just a stag. The silver light erupts from his wand, massive, blinding. The stag forms, but it's joined by something else. A smaller, silver fox, Albus's Patronus, triggered by his father's courage. The two spiritual guardians charge into the swarm of Dementors, scattering them like leaves in a hurricane. The car stabilizes. Albus pulls them out of the dive, just feet above the tree line. They shoot back up into the clear air, the Dementors retreating into the dark cloud behind them. They breathe, heavy, shaking breaths. We made it, Albus whispers. For now, Harry says, sitting back down. But look. Ahead of them, Rising out of the mist on the peak of Mount Greylock is the castle of Ilvermorny, but it's not lit up with welcoming torches. It's surrounded by a ring of purple fire, and in the center of the school, a beam of black light is shooting straight into the moon. The eclipse has begun. The flying Mustang smokes and sputters as it dives toward the courtyard of Ilvermorny. The landing gear is gone, the magic is fading. Harry grips the wheel, knuckles white. "Hold on," he screams. They crash. It's loud, messy, and violent. The car skids across the cobblestone, sparks flying like fireworks, smashing through a stone fountain before coming to a halt against the main doors of the school. Steam hisses from the engine. Silence falls. They kick the doors open and stumble out, coughing in the smoke. Albus looks up at the school. Ilvermorny is usually full of life, full of students. Tonight, it's a graveyard. The purple fire we saw from the sky isn't burning the stone, it's freezing it. "Stay close," Harry whispers, wand drawn. The tip glows with a fierce, steady light. They push open the massive oak doors of the entrance hall. Inside, it's a scene from a nightmare. Students are there, but they aren't moving. They are frozen in mid-step, mid-laugh, mid-panic. The air around them shimmers like heat haze. Are they dead? Albus asks, his voice trembling. Harry touches a frozen statue of a girl. No, they're paused, stuck in a single second. The eclipse is eating the time around them. A slow, rhythmic clapping echoes from the top of the grand staircase. Beautiful, isn't it? A voice says, "Peace, absolute, unbroken peace." Descending the stairs is a man. He looks young, maybe late 20s, but his eyes are ancient. He wears a suit that looks like it's woven from shadows. This is Valerius, the man behind the mask, the architect of this nightmare. And in his hand, he holds a completed obsidian dial. It's spinning, ticking backward. "Valerius," Harry says, stepping forward. He recognizes a face from old ministry files. "You're supposed to be in Azkaban." "Azkaban couldn't hold me, Harry." Valerius smiles. "Not when I have seen the truth. You fought a war to save the world, Potter. But look at it. Pain, suffering, loss. I'm not here to destroy the world. I'm here to correct it. By erasing time," Harry snaps. "By wiping out everyone's lives? By pruning the rot." Valerius counters, raising the dial. "We go back. Before Voldemort. Before Grindelwald. A perfect timeline." "You're insane," Albus shouts. Valerius looks at the boy. "And you? The spare. The son who lives in the shadow. You of all people should want a fresh start." "I don't want a fresh start," Albus says, gripping his wand. "I want my life. Expelliarmus." The red beam shoots out, but Valerius doesn't even block it. The dial pulses and the spell reverses. It flies back into Albus's wand, knocking him off his feet. "Time is mind command," Valerius sneers. Harry roars, unleashed. This is a Harry Potter who defeated the Dark Lord. He unleashes a barrage of spells, fire, lightning, pure force. The great hall shakes. Valerius deflects them with waves of distorted time, aging the stone pillars until they crumble into dust in seconds. It's a clash of titans. Harry is fighting with raw power, but Valerius is fighting with the fabric of reality. Albus gets to the dial. Harry yells, struggling to hold back a wave of black energy. "Smash it." It's the anchor. Albus scrambles to his feet. He runs, dodging debris, sliding under curses. He reaches the stairs. Valerius turns to stop him, but Harry hits him with a Sectum Sempra. It connects. Valerius staggers, bleeding ink, not blood. Now Albus leaps toward the dial, raising his wand to crush it. But just as he strikes, the dial stops spinning. It opens. A blinding white light erupts from the artifact. It's not an explosion. It's a tear, a hole in the universe. The gravity shifts. Everything, broken stone, furniture, the frozen students, starts getting pulled toward the tear. It's a black hole. No! Harry screams. He sees Albus slipping, his grip failing on the banister. The suction is too strong. Harry doesn't think. He never thinks when it comes to family. He points his wand at the floor beneath Albus and shouts, "Ascendio!" launching his son backward, away from the tear, toward the safety of the door. But the recoil pushes Harry forward, into the pull. "Dad!" Albus screams, reaching out. Harry digs his heels into the cracking stone floor. He looks at his son. The wind is howling, tearing the building apart. "Albus!" Harry shouts, his voice barely audible over the roar. "Find the key. Trust yourself." "Dad, no!" Valerius laughs, his body dissolving into the light. "The fracture is complete, Potter. Welcome to the void." Harry loses his footing. He looks at Albus one last time, a look of pride, and then he lets go. Harry Potter is sucked into the white void. The light implodes. Silence. Instant, deafening silence. The light is gone. The wind stops. Albus is lying on the floor of the entrance hall. He looks up. The dial is gone. Valerius is gone. And Harry is gone. Albus scrambles up, running to the spot where his father stood. There's nothing there, just a scorch mark on the floor in the shape of a lightning bolt. "Dad!" Albus whispers. "Dad!" He spins around. The frozen students are gone. The school is empty, but something is wrong. The banners on the walls, they aren't Ilvermorny colors anymore. They are green and silver. The mark on the wall isn't the American eagle. It's a snake. Albus runs to the window and looks out. The world outside, it's burning. New York is in ruins. The sky is red. He backs away, terrified. What happened? Where am I? A shadow falls over him. He turns around. Standing in the doorway is a figure, but it's not Valerius. It's an old man with a long white beard, looking sad and weary. Professor Dumbledore? Albus gasps. The old man shakes his head slowly. Dumbledore's been dead for 50 years, boy. Welcome to the Resistance. You're late. Albus stares. The timeline didn't just break. It shattered. Harry is lost in time. And Albus is alone in a world where the bad guys won. The screen fades to black. The sound of a ticking clock gets louder and louder until it stops with a final, heavy thud. Narrator outro, and that is where we leave them. The hero is lost. The world is broken. And the only one left to fix it is the boy who never wanted to be a hero. What happened to Harry? Who is this new Dumbledore? And can Albus rewrite a history that has already been destroyed? You'll have to wait for part 2. If you want to see Albus fight back, if you want to see the war for time itself, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Subscribe and turn on notifications. The clock is ticking, and you don't want to miss the next chapter. Until then, manage your mischief.